Karazakarak is secure, my lord High King. Faced with your terrible wrath, the greenskins rout, as is typical of their craven nature. The bloody spears still infest the mountains to the east, setting up their hovels amidst your sacred pillars. Another grudge that must be put right, and soon, for the lords of the other dwarf holds will not tolerate a High King that cannot secure his own realms. To the south, yet more vicious Urki and Groby lay ready to strike at your kin. Seek allies amongst your own folk, for there are many grudges to settle here. The world shall be in thrall to the Karaz Angkor once more, and no creature, greenskin or otherwise, shall stand in your way.
Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to Snow Panda Gaming and to our Warhammer tutorial. That was the intro cinematic for the dwarves we are playing right now. With Thorgrim Grudgebear here. So this is his army. How they play. Dwarves. Grudges. Dwarves maintain a record of grievances committed against them in their Book of Grudges. Losses suffered by dwarfen factions are recorded, so they may be later avenged. This is the Great Book of Grudges, which is indeed the faction mechanic for the dwarves. All the different races have their own mechanics, but this is the way for the dwarves. They don't like to be crossed with, so if you do harm to them, they will remember it. They will write it in this book, which is sadly empty now, and they will come at you. They also have the underway stance, which is just a different stance for the armies. They can traverse underground terrain that would normally be impassable, so they can basically teleport underneath the map to the other side. So anyway, we will be probably issued with a grudge. Yes, trespassing greenskin grudge. So these are in our land, as you can see. Here's the border, yellow and red. And this is an enemy army of Gnashurk, of orcs. So we have a grudge to kill them. So that will be recorded here. And then they'll be crossed out when we actually manage to do them. The faction mechanic is such that you should do these grudges. If you don't, this meter will go up, and there's going to be more penalties to your faction. So you are expected as the High King of the dwarves to settle these grudges, no matter the cost. So that is the faction mechanic. If you zoom out by your mouse wheel, you can see that this is the whole map. It's pretty big, but we are here on the eastern border almost. Game 3 will probably feature this land here with the Chaos Dwarves and Ogre Kingdoms, and maybe the Chaos Divided, but not yet. So this is the campaign map. You have settlements and you have armies. Armies go and fight other armies and capture cities, and your cities and settlements will have buildings on them, and you can build stuff and make more money or make more growth and public order and that type of thing. So first off, buildings. This is a settlement. If I click here, I can select it. As you can see, this is part of the Silver Road province, which has Karazakarak, which is our capital here. Then the same province has Mount Squickhorn and Pillars of Grumney as well. But those are in this bloody spears hands, and as you can see with this icon, we are at war with them. So when you have a full province, you can issue commandments here, which will give you bonuses. But we cannot yet because we don't have the whole province. There's a lot of factions in this game. as you can see. So that is handled by diplomacy screen here. So we are here, and you can see by their attitude here how much they like us or not. Red is bad and green is good. Yellow is so-so. There's also a trade in the game, so if you produce some sort of goods, you can trade with other nations, but you need to have a connection from your capital to their capital, which we have with Barak War here. Our capital is there and their capital is here. There's a land connection or a sea connection to their capital, so we can trade with them. With this icon, you can see cannot trade. A route from their capital cannot be established, so that's something to keep in mind of. You can set war targets for your allies. There's treaties. We have a non-aggression pact and military access with Barak War, for example. We could actually engage in diplomacy and offer them something. We could offer them defensive alliance. For example, it's showing as yellow, so the likelihood of success is moderate. The red is never going to happen. So we can try this. They have accepted, which is nice. So now they are our military defensive allies. So if they get attacked, we get into that war, and if we get attacked, they get into that war. So that's nice. Yes. How about Greybeard's prospectors here in Southlands? They are a Dwarf Faction as well. We have a non-aggression pact with them now. And we could do the same with Zufbar here. There we go. Alright, so yeah, that's it. We also start with a non-aggression pact with the Empire, which is here. If you watch my first video, you know what they are about. We have various green screen stripes to the south and north. But yeah, that's how you conduct diplomacy. There's also technology in the game. Every faction have their own technology tree. The dwarves have this one, which is basically divided in two here. That's the south, the bottom part and the upper part. The upper part is basically your campaign and faction bonuses tab. So you have income and public orders stuff here, and then the bottom part is about giving bonuses to your units in battle. So I think I'll start with the include related families. Gives a bit of public order. What is public order, you ask? Well, as you can see, if I click Karak here, there's the income it's going to make per turn. And there's this public order details. That means how happy your population is, and they are not very happy. This scale goes from -100 to +100, and we are -36 now, and next turn we will have -2 to that, so we will have -36. So that research I just took, which will be completed in 3 turns, will improve that public order in all of the provinces by +1, which is nice. There's also buildings you can construct to help with that. Which we will do at some point, not right now. Next up is corruption, which is chaos, vampiric, and Skaven corruption. If you watched the first video, you would know which faction creates what, or at least you can guess what they are. But we don't have anything, so we have untainted at the moment. This is a garrison size, so if your settlement gets attacked, this is the size of the army that will defend it. You have this button here showing the details of it, so you can see what units will fight if the settlement gets attacked. So that's really nice. And if you're close enough, you can also see the enemy garrisons as well from that province. Alright, so what else do we have? Well, we have this button here, the hammer, which means there's building upgrades available. As this terrain climate here icon, if it's green, that means it's suitable for your race and faction. If it's yellow, like here, it says it's unpleasant. So you can still inhabit it, you can settle that and take that settlement. but you're gonna get some penalties, as you can see. But it's still doable. Then there's also the red one. This is orange. There's the red one, which is totally uninhabitable for you, and you shouldn't probably inhabit them at any time. You can conquer them and raise them, but it's not advisable to take them for yourself. So there's this strategic location icon, which shows that this is a special importance to the dwarf realms, and it may provide a unique building chain, which it does, which I'll show you in a bit. There's also gemstones, which is one of those trade resources I showed in the diplomacy screen, which you can trade with other factions. So, Karasakarak, you can see that this is the main settlement level building chain. So there's 5 levels for the province capitals, and then there's 3 levels for these minor settlements. So you can only go to level 1, level 2, level 3 up to this point. What that means is, if we look at the Karasakarak, there's this building browser which shows you all the buildings you can build. It means that you need to get the main settlement building up to that level to get the option to build these upgrades. So, for example, we are now level 1, so you can see this line here. We can build these buildings. If I upgrade this, it will take 3 turns and 1 population surplus. I will get to level 2, and then I can build these buildings. As you can see, there's only the main settlement building slot and then 9 others. So there's more than 9 here, so you need to make some choices what you will build where. So as a rule of thumb, as the little minor settlements can only get to level 3, it's advisable to build those buildings which go up until level 3 there. So like this barracks building chain here, it's pretty advisable to build that in a minor settlement because, you know, you can get to the top building with the minor settlement at level 3 main building. Same with the ranger barracks and usually the resource buildings. But as you can see, there's a lot of buildings which starts at level 4, so those you will never be able to build in the minor settlements. There are also these classifications down here. Infrastructure, military support, military recruitment, that's basically in every settlement. Then there's resource, which is only in that settlement. So because Karasakarak had these gemstones, I can build this gem mine shaft and gem mining building chain, which will give us money. That is something I will probably do actually. So we can select it here and start building. It will take 3 turns to complete. Also, there's this landmark categorization, which is unique buildings in that specific settlement. So that was the strategic location mark, which I just showed you here. So these are only buildable here, which is the throne hall of the High King and also Karasakarak airfield. They can also only be built here. So that's something to keep in mind. And some of these buildings give you units. These are the icons for them. So like barracks gives you dwarf warriors, some dwarf warriors with great weapons. But this is, as you can see, the border is red. So you need a secondary building. As you can see, this unit requires secondary building armory. So you need to build the armory. And as I'm browsing it, you can see to the top, a bit to the right, it's showing this icon here that this is the armory you need. All right, I guess that's it. We're going to build that, and we're going to also, yeah, there's also growth, which I haven't said. So it's this population surplus. Your nation and faction and race will grow in numbers. So that is the growth here. So when it reaches the top here, 375, you will get 1 population surplus. And these main buildings will require a population surplus. The second level will need 1 population surplus, and 2, 4, and 5 for the respective levels. So you need to grow in order to get to these levels. So we already have 1 population surplus, so we can just start building this. But that will consume the population surplus, and you need to start from the scratch. So it's advisable, at least in the early game, to build these growth buildings like barley field here. It will give you growth, so that will increase this number. It's plus 10 right now. This would give plus 15 to that. So you will grow faster, and you can get to these levels faster, which is the goal. It will also give you casualty replenishment rate, which means that when these units, there's 100 dudes in this unit, 100 dwarf warriors. So when you go to battle and some of them die, you will automatically replenish them, and that's the rate of how fast they will replenish. So that will increase that rate. Good to know. All right, so we have our army here, and we have a grudge to kill this army. So I think that's what we will do. We have spent some treasury money here to build all of these. I should have mentioned that here's the cost of money-wise, how much it will cost. We have 5,000, and we will spend 1,600 to that. So, and that is the predicted income you will get on your next turn. So, what else? I guess we also have the objective screen here. This is a sandbox game, you can do whatever you want, but there are a set of objectives you can pursue if you so want. There's short campaign and long campaign. Short campaign means for the dwarves that you need to have Great Book of Grudges is no greater than 9. So this bar needs to be no more than 9. We have 3 at the moment, because we have 1 grudge. And we need to unite the dwarf holds of old. So these are basically all these buildings here in the south and in the north. And then there's also 8 settlements we need to have as a direct ownership or vassals or military allies. This is basically the main capitals of all the other factions. And also at some point chaos will spawn, and we need to vanquish that and kill the Archaeon, the Everchosen, which is their leader. Long campaign is the same but more. So we need to have no grudges at all, and then have all these settlements, and instead of 8 we need to have 17 of these, and also chaos needs to be dead. All right, I think we'll just go. This is the end turn button, but it will show you what notifications you have, and you can adjust them here, what you want to see or don't. So we have Lord Not Moved, we have Thorgrim, and we're gonna fight him. So we're gonna right click on, we can left click on the army and right click to go where you want. There's this movement range, as you can see on here, this bar. So it will show you, if you go this far, how much you will have left on your movement speed. There are different stances you can use. There's encampment, raiding, ambush, and march for the dwarves and the underway. There may be some other stances for the other factions, but this is what we have. Ambush is basically no enemy cannot see you, and when they come near you, you might get an ambush. So raiding is giving you money when you're on foreign lands and you want to raid them and get money to yourself and cause problems to them. Encampment stands is where you can replenish on enemy lands. You can normally only replenish in your own lands. So, and you can also recruit from the global recruitment pool, which is different from the local recruitment pool, which is just units you can recruit in that province. All right, let's go fight Nashrak. We're gonna select the army, right click, and fight them. So what you will get is this battle screen, and you can choose if you want to go and fight that battle in the 3D map I was advertising earlier. You can scout that map by pressing here, so it's just going to be a bit of hills. And we're going to put our units there, and their enemy is gonna put their units there, and then we're gonna fight. Or you can use auto resolve, which is not gonna show you the battle. It's gonna show you the end screen. So it's gonna be having the AI fight the battle for you based on this balance of power. As you can see, we're gonna win this pretty easily. Or you can also retreat. There's also a quick save button and a help. But yeah, we're gonna fight Nashrak, and I'm actually gonna edit the loading screen out. I'm playing this on a laptop, so it's gonna be quite long. So I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now. All right, welcome back. We are now in the battle screen here. So maybe if you haven't played Total War before, you might notice that this is looking a bit weird. I have a debug camera on, and also these map markers here, so I can draw if I so choose. So I've used what Party Elite showed in his video of how to set it up. It's pretty perfect, the video, so I'm just gonna put it in the description, and you can do that as well for your game if you so choose. So here we are. If I press K, I'll hide the UI, and we can look at the units we have. This is our dwarves. And here is Thorgrim Grudgebearer, the High King, riding his battle tub with his trusty minions carrying him over the battle. That's our Grudge Thrower, naturally, and we have some Elite Hammer as well. I quite like the how they look. And on the other side, there's going to be the orcs who we are battling against. So if you press K again, we get to the UI. And here are units cards. Each of these cards represents one unit. So as you can see, they highlight as I click on them. So we have our infantry call of hammerers, dwarf warriors, and miners, which we will have as our first line infantry. So as you can do, you can left click on the unit, and then if you press Control and click on the next one, it will select both of them. Pretty much same as in Windows, so pretty useful. And when you have the units you want selected, you can press G, which will make them into a group. You can also press Control 1 or Control 2, which will put them in the number of groups you want. So for example, I'll press Control 2, and that will make this into a group 3. We could have made these fellas into group 3, 4, 5, up to 10, I think. So choose. There's also you can disband a group by pressing the G again. So what you can also do, if you want multiple units and you don't want to click on them individually, you can press Shift while you have a unit selected, and then press to this far, for example, if you want all these units in between. So Shift and click. But yeah, let's set up our army here. We're gonna have, I guess these are gonna be group 1. And then we have our second group, which is our missile units, which are these parallels, which have a crossbow. So they can shoot over us to the enemy. Then we have our Grudgebearer and a Grudge. So this is an artillery piece. You can put them in a separate group, and Thorgrim in the fourth group. You can set these as you like. So, and then you're going to deploy somewhere in this yellow area here. You have some units which have one Vanguard deploy, like these dudes here. As you can see, Vanguard deployment, that means you can deploy them anywhere in this white area here. But I'm not sure if I want to. They'll just get crushed. But you can, for example, hide units in forests and whatnot and come from the side, which is nice. Anyhow, I'm gonna set these dudes here. What I did was I right-clicked and dragged the mouse, so you can put your units as you choose. I'm gonna put the group 2 behind them, and I'm gonna have the grudge thrower here on the high ground shooting missiles units, and have Torgrim here. As you can see, he has this area, blue area, which is his inspire. He's a leader. Oh, he's encouraging, giving leadership to the allies. Leadership is morale. So if you have high leadership, your units won't break. They will break when the morale on leadership goes below 1. You can see here the unit card. You have different stats here. You have a quick overview of what these are supposed to be. So the hammers are hammer infantry. They have a 2-handed hammer. They're armored, which means they have high armor. They have armor piercing, which means their weapons will pierce armor. They're different weapon types. So there's the normal weapon damage, and then there's armor piercing damage. The armor piercing damage means that it will go through that armor of the enemy more easily. And this just shows that this is a damage dealer. So that's the role in the battlefield. They have leadership, which I just mentioned. It's morale. If this goes down, your units will rout and they will run away in fear. This is the speed, how fast they go. Melee attack is the chance of when it hits that it will actually hit the enemy. And melee defense is the opposite for that. So how easy it is to defend that melee attack. If the melee attack goes through, the weapon damage is the damage it will make to that health pool here of the enemy. Charge bonus is just a bonus if you're gonna charge up onto an enemy, and for the next 5 to 10 seconds you will make that much more damage. Very handy for cavalry. Okay, so now we have set up. We do have some buttons here. You can set a formation to or group them up, or have guard mode. Guard mode is wonderful for your first line, and also this missile infantry corps where they won't pursue the enemy. So if they're gonna fight something and they're gonna run away, they will pursue them automatically. But if you have guard mode up, they will just stand their ground and hold line, so to speak. Same with really nice for the missile units where they have this range, as you can see. Quarrels have this range, for example, this far, and if the unit goes away from that range, they will pursue them if you have an attack order. But they won't if you have guard mode. They will just stand on the ground, and they have fire at will. They will just shoot at whatever is on range. So let's start. Start battle. It's going to be real time. You can pause them or make it slow motion or even fast speed if you so choose. We have our artillery, so we can right click on like orc boys. Let's do big guns actually. So it will start shooting them. Have a look. They are a bit... Ooh. I have Blood and Gore DLC, so they will get smashed and there's gonna be blood. It's a brutal world and brutal games. Anyhow, they will slowly make up their way here, and then we're gonna have a clash of arms. Actually, make them shoot the front line now. The quarrels have already opened up because they have fire at will enabled, and they also they are in range. These guys do have shields, as you can see from that icon, that as do quarrels. It will give them some protection from missiles. Not a lot. These dudes are taking a beating. As you can see from the red, that's their health. The white one is their morale, and if you have range unit, you have brown as well, which will show the how much ammo they have. Alright, so I'm gonna set these hammers there. They will take front of the charge. Alright, so let's make the Corla shoot them. I'm gonna charge them. And have Thorgrim go up against their leader. Gonna have Quarrels shoot up their archers, which is nice. They won't shoot up their own troops. So I'm gonna flank around with this one. If you press... Oh, these are coming back. Let's charge them then. Have the charge. Boom. Gonna win that fight, I could assume, because they have so much more health. Alright, oh, hammers are taking a beating. They are really high unit, but they're also being shot up by the infantry. So let's have our group 2 and 3 shoot up these dudes. They already routed these goblins. Oh, I guess they're coming back now. They'll soon rout again. That's how the greenskins work most of the time. Just rout and then come back again. I have this on normal difficulty, so you can also amp up the difficulty. So let's go and shoot them instead, actually. The Quarrelers as well. Hopefully they'll rout again. Yeah, they are flashing, so it means they're routing. So I will rout. If you want, you can hold shift and draw an attack line if you want to flank easily, for example. Also, I'm going to show you that if you have unit selected, press Alt and click on them and hold, you can move them around as a unit. That's nice as well. Shoot them, please. Alright, I guess we won the leader routed as well. So here we go, victory! That was our first battle. These will get quite a lot harder, obviously. When you go forward, you can save the replay. We're gonna end the battle, and I'm gonna edit this loading screen away. So, see you in a bit. Alright, welcome back everybody. We are back after in the battle results screen. My game actually crashed and I had to replay this up till now, but we got a fairly similar result, so that's alright. We beat the enemy, and now we have a decision to make, to release captives or execute them, and we don't release orcs, do we? So we are gonna kill them. The rest of the army is running away. March! And we got our grudge settled, so that's nice. We are gonna get a new one to occupy Pillars of Grungni. You don't get them automatically. Usually the enemy actually needs to do something for you to get a grudge, so that's it. Oh, I forgot to put the research last turn because I had to replay this. Anyway, our lord got some experience, enough to level up, so he's now level 2. There's 3 trees here, skill trees. So the bottom one is blue one. It's mostly affecting the campaign gameplay. The red one is affecting your troops, so you can give them bonuses. And the yellow one is for your legendary lord or lord. The difference being that legendary lords can die, and you have only 1 or 2 or maybe 3 in your faction, and they're all named. So I think we're gonna go with Root Marcher. Campaign movement range isn't always a good first pick. With Mortal Empires, you actually go up till level 40, so you can get most of these skills, but not all of them. You can also get some items and followers, so we don't have anything from that fight yet, but we will get them. Alright, so as you can see, we got damaged units, so they're gonna replenish automatically. Doesn't take any money or anything, they just replenish. And I think we're gonna recruit no more. We are just on our border, so we can recruit from the local recruitment pool. And we're gonna have, I think, a couple of three more dwarf warriors. They're really nice. The miners are armor piercing, but their other stats are really poor. So usually go with dwarf warriors instead. They can hold the line. And also, when Thorgrim levels up, you can get stuff like this Axe Lord, which gives melee attack, melee defense to both warriors and miners, but because warriors were better before, they'll be even better. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I actually forgot to do the diplomatic things we did before my game crash, so I'll just do them quickly, like we did before.
All right. Dowie from another holder.
Alright, so that's it. We have the same buildings being built, and we can end the turn. There is this button here where you can fast forward if this feels like it's too long. But I don't know. It's sometimes nice to see what the enemy is doing. Actually. Let's look at Barak Ward. Got in war with Thief Snatchers, which is a greenskin faction. And I assume Bloody Hands will run away. But as you can see, there's a lot of different factions here. You can distinguish them from the heraldry, so the like High Elven have the same and Dwarfs have the same and so on. Oh, they didn't run away. Interesting. They're 9, we're 10. That's nice. So we can attack the settlement. That means we are fighting the army which is in it and also the garrison. This is so clear that I'm gonna actually just resolve, which we won. So as a victory, we only lost 58. Got a bit of loot. I think Thorgrim got a bit of experience. Oh, he got a rank, nice. And so on, no loot or anything. So then you have the occupation screen, where you can either occupy, loot and occupy, which gives you a bit of money. Sack it, which means you won't get it yourself, you just steal some loot from it, and then you can raise it to the ground. I think we're just going to occupy. It will give conquest penalty to public order and province instability for one turn, but it's less than looting it, and the loot amount is so low that it doesn't really make sense to loot and occupy. So let's occupy it. That will be ours, and we have unlocked Regiment of Renown called Warriors of Dragonfire Pass. This is a specialty unit. It's based on some base model, like this Warriors of Dragonfire Pass is based on Dwarf Warriors, and they can be recruited. We got that grudge settled, that's nice. And we get a quest. These are unique quests for the Legendary Lords. This is for our main man, Thorgrim Grudgebearer here. It's an assault ambush on Thundering Fall, so we'll be fighting some greenskins. These are scripted battles, quest battles, so they are all pretty unique and fun. And we get some reward. We get a dragon helm, an item for our lord, and we can recruit the runesmith.
Your Dowie have been put to work fixing up the captured city, sir. Yet there are many grudges still to settle. Perfidious manlings and bloodthirsty vampires threaten your kind in the north, and your mountain will never be safe while a single greenskin draws breath. To war!
Yeah, so as you see the advisor there, saying we got a chapter objective to occupy, loot, raise, or sack 3 different settlements. So this is pretty much a tutorial, the beginning of the game with dwarves, so that's nice. So we got a 1 skill point. I think I'm gonna go here and try to buff my units. So I'm gonna choose this, as you can see from the arrow. Then you can choose from the four of these, And I think when you have 4 in the previous category, you can move on to forward and so on. Alright, so now we got Pillars of Grumney. It has a barley field and a dwarf mining colony, so that's nice. I will also, at some point, if I would play this forward, destroy this barracks building and build it in the miner settlement. Because this, as I said in the earlier, this only goes to tier 3. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for the tutorial here. You've seen, in the first video, you've seen what the factions are, what the races are, a bit of their history and units, and some gameplay on the second one. I will probably make a let's play, a proper one, when we actually get Norska. It's up here in what would be in real life Scandinavia, some Viking tribes basically. But they're not in the game yet. They are coming in the near future, so when they arrive I will probably make a let's play. I'm not going to probably play as them, but I want their mechanics and the factions to be in when I start the game. I will probably play with a few mods as well, but more on that later. So I'm going to conclude the tutorial here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on another video. Bye bye.